I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. Today was a day, but one thing I never will do is let the devil win. So I had a tough day. Okay, you're not gonna stop me from recording my podcast. This needs to get out. Someone needs to hear this. So what's gonna happen? And yeah, that's that. That's that on that. Carmex, baby. Me and Carmex go hand in hand. So if anybody works at Carmex or whatever, sponsor me. The lips is chapped without the Carmex. And guess what? The lips are never chapped. Because of Carmex. Yeah. All right, let me stop playing. Welcome to another episode of the Sisters Podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm so excited for our episode today. Today I have none other than Miss Bobbi and Brown. Bobbi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Of course, no problem. I'm doing well. Thank you for deciding to come up here and sharing your story. I know how scary it is sometimes when the cameras are rolling and you hit record and stuff like that, but I really do appreciate it.
No problem.
For those of you who do not know, Bobbi is born and raised in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Talk about an advocate for her community, talk about someone with a voice, talk about someone who is really out there getting it done with our young ladies. That is Bobbi. And Bobbi, I'm so proud of you. Just for everything that you're doing in the community, everything you're doing with the young ladies in Bridgeport. It's awesome and it's well needed in the community. So shout outs to you for real.
Thank you. And I see the work that you've been doing just from college and now your career of just making sure that all these different platforms are opening a voice, and this is being one of them. So shout out to you. We ran into each other prior to your podcast, and I was just very intrigued about how you were, I believe it was sports, if I am correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So just seeing, you going on your own route and finding your own voice platform is just amazing. So shout out to you.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that, especially since like growing up when like we weren't like the closest, but like we had friends who like were like with the friends of friends, and we got to see each other every now and then.
Mhm.
Just to see like from way back then to now, like what we're both doing, it is really amazing. Um,
Absolutely.
Bobbi is the founder of 100 Girls Leading. 100 Girls Leading is a mentorship program for underserved girls ages 9 to 18 to academically and economically empower them to become effective leaders in their lives, careers, and communities. That is
That.
it's so dope. I'm going through the website, just seeing the different pictures up there, obviously following the page and seeing how many young women that you guys have touched within the past couple of years. Like, when did you start this?
So we launched in 2019. We didn't become a nonprofit to 2020, like right when the pandemic happened. So I guess that's like the moment where you see if you really built of what you say you are, because it was the world had shut down, but business had to keep going. So to this day, we've served over 1,000 girls just in the city of Bridgeport, and that's a true testament to the work that the mentors are doing, but also the belief that people have in our organization. And we're not, this group of like people that are like, yeah, come into our network and we will start with you and we don't finish with you. Our goal is to finish with you. We want to see the girls succeed at, numerous letters. I mean, opportunities, doors opening. We want to see it all.
Right. And it's crazy because like where did this vision come from? Like why 100 Girls Leading? Like what like how did it even start?
So I have my own mentor story. I went to school in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I am a first gen college grad.
To you.
So being that I went away to school, my mom reached out to a few women in the Oklahoma community and said, "Hey, my daughter's coming out to college. Could you be there for her, support her while she's away at school?" So my mom's network of women actually became my network of women. They were there while I was in school. They made sure I had food. They made sure I had a place to stay when I couldn't fly back home. They brought me resources. They were there at my college graduation. So it was really a network of women that just came together and say, "I believe in you, and we're going to help your mom get through this because, she hasn't gone to college. So for her, this was new for her. So it was really mind opening and mind blowing for me. And then from there, my mentor had said to me, what are you going to do when you graduate? Are you going to stay in Oklahoma? Are you going to come back home? What do you want to do? And you need to figure out what your passion is. You don't have to have it all figured out, but at least have an idea of what you want to do.
Right.
Like I said, I'm going to come home. And I came home and I said, let me get back into helping in the community because, Jazz, growing up, my mom had us in everything. We was doing everything. We were volunteering here, volunteering there. We were very active. And being away in school, my focus was just on my schoolwork, nothing else. I want to focus on that. So coming back home, I had to build that up again. I had to be reconnected to the community and then show them that I went away to school, but I also have something to bring back. And what I did was I thought about an area that I would be able to impact. So what's better than sisterhood, womanhood? I'm a woman. That's an area that I know. I don't know it all. I'm experiencing it as life is happening, but I've learned a lot from those women that have led before I have. And then now I am in the generation to help lead others. So I pitched an idea to some girls and I asked them, I said, hey, what would you like to see that you don't see in your community? And they started just giving me ideas and different topics. And I was like, well, what if I could make something like this happen? So originally, Jazz, it was supposed to be just a day of interactive mentorship. We weren't trying to be a mentorship program. We weren't trying to be an organization. We were just trying to create a huddle for mentorship programs that had a girl focus to be able to reach a larger number of girls. So me and my friend was like, well, I know about 50 girls, you know about 50 girls. Together we can get like 100 of them. That's a good number to start with. And then we end up naming our organization 100 Girls Leading. But from there, it was very inspiring to see that we knew more than who we thought we knew, and then that people and parents wanted a platform for girls and they wanted more resources for girls. And it was a perfect timing of it because right during that time we connected with a lot of our girls during the pandemic. Even though we weren't an organization at the time, we became an organization around in January of the start of the pandemic. But that was enough to inspire us and the women that were working with us to say, hey, there's a greater need for this one-to-one, and there's this greater need for a community of women to come together. And I thought, 100 Girls Leading can be a blessing, and we ran with it, and here we are on year 5, and just keep going. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
And that's just amazing, first of all. Just starting with the timing of it all. Obviously 2020 was crazy for everyone.
Absolutely.
For everyone, but for you guys to come together to and such a critical point of time for a lot of young women, in the city of Bridgeport, it was needed right then and there. Everybody's back at their home and they're trapped in their space, and sometimes they don't even have a space to even talk about different things that they're going through, and while they're home. And then for you and your friends to open up a space for them to learn, to grow, to connect, to network, like shout outs to you guys. And obviously, I'm pretty sure you have seen numerous growth from 2020 to now.
Absolutely.
You said that you started with just a day of mentorship.
Just a day. Literally, we asked women to give us a couple hours of their busy schedules. And our goal was to do it every year. So just a couple hours. And we know that women work countless hours. Some of them are leading Fortune 500 companies. Some of them are taking a political field. They're in that arena. Some of them are teachers. And we know how busy it can be because the women, we do it all. There's not much that we don't do. And because we do it all, it's sometimes hard to find what we love to do because people ask us to do these things, and without hesitation we say yes. So we're busy, but the part of it that really stuck out to me was that these women were willing to just give me a couple hours, and that's all we needed. So we would start our summit off, and then we would have speakers and stuff like that, but then the rest of the day for maybe 2 to 3 hours would be women actually engaging with girls, hands-on interactive mentorship where girls will learn and participate and ask questions and be engaged. And that was the most important part, that the girls were not sitting in a classroom feeling like, someone's talking at them. This was actual dialogue taking place between the two, which I think builds up their confidence to say, hey, this is something that I feel passionate about. How can I connect with someone who can make those dreams or passions come true? And then the other thing is giving girls the opportunity to choose what they want to do. They're every day from the moment that they wake up in the morning, they're told to do something. But this was a summit where you get to choose, your parents get to lounge out on the grass. You get to choose what table you want to go to, which mentor you want to talk to, which activity you want to do, what food you want to eat. It was literally just a day of them choosing what they want to do and then them getting the best out of it. So it was really cool to see parents sit off to the side and feel safe and know that their girls would be engaging and they would get something out of our event.
And you're teaching them early to choose themselves and not
Absolutely.
the path that someone else is creating for them. And I love it because, you know, Bridgeport is a city of athletes. Like anybody can play basketball, you can play football, soccer. There's all these other, sports that they can, choose from. But what about the young ladies and the, obviously the young boys as well. But what about the young ladies who don't want to play a sport and they don't have, they're not athletic and that's not in them and they're not just forced to play it because their parents are putting them in something just to get them active and just to be around other people.
Mm-hmm.
So, like that is so vital in our city and I'm so happy for you and I'm so glad that you actually like you're doing it and getting really good progress within it. Talk a little bit about your time in Oklahoma. That is different from where we come from.
Yeah, so Oklahoma, so obviously Bridgeport is very city-like. We are a city. Oklahoma is huge. I went to school in Tulsa, Oklahoma, so my university really was like one of the sayings that they said, "You're welcome to the wonderful world of ORU." Like that was a saying that we said on campus because everything you needed was on campus. You really didn't need to go anywhere because everything you needed there, besides Walmart, which most college students would go to. So the funny story is I wasn't intending on going there. I had got asked before and I was like, no, it's not something that I want to do. And then an opportunity presented itself for me to apply for a scholarship. So there's, partial scholarship and then the full scholarship. And without moments later, like I applied, a couple months later, I got information back that I had been awarded the full scholarship. So I also, I danced. So I did a dance scholarship. So I had a full ride for dance and then I had a full ride for academics as well. So it was a really cool experience. Being there, I knew that, I was on a mission. My mission was to get my degree, but it wasn't the easiest process. It was a cultural shock from being in Oklahoma versus Bridgeport, but I also had an advantage that I was really well-rounded before going there. Most of the students there are learning to be well-rounded, whereas I was brought up in that. So it was easy for me to connect, easy for me to engage. I majored in multimedia and communications. So I, did the live streams. I was editing footage. I was going to the basketball games, shooting those games. It was very hands-on, and that's what I wanted for myself. And then also what was cool about my degree is that no matter where I landed outside of college, into the work world, I had experience in all these different sectors that I can land a job in working for the newspaper or the TV station or a writing sector, grant writing or something like that, because I had the skills that my program brought to me. So it made it just even more unique. So even though I run a nonprofit, after 5, I actually am a geek during the day from 8:30 to 4:30, where I get to do the things that I love as far as editing content, shooting video, shooting pictures, creating websites. That's what I love to do. And that's where my little Kiki zone goes in. But then after 4:30, I turn into a whole activist, a whole program leader. So it's really interesting on the different worlds. And sometimes I always say, like, my boss is like, you're a different person outside of work. I said, yeah, because this is where my outside work doesn't interfere with my inside work, and they don't have to meet in the middle. I can keep them separate and still love who I am.
Absolutely. I love the balance that you have with that of just being honest about it too. Like work is work. Like, we gotta go to work, we gotta pay our bills, we gotta make this money, we gotta make so
Mhm.
there's a certain line that you really can't cross, but at the same time you gotta find yourself outside of work. You gotta find
Correct.
yourself outside of, what you have to do. And
Mhm.
obviously you inspiring women, just being an activist in your community, that's something that you love to do. So I'm glad that you have that fine line to do both sides.
Mhm.
It's needed in everyone. Like you have to find your passion and like your hobby on the side to, kind of stay well-rounded and like you said, you spoke a little bit about dance. Um, how was your involvement in the church? How did that help you get to where you are now? Like, I remember watching you for the first time. I don't think I know you were the first person I seen mime, which then Kia started miming, and then I started miming with Kia and like doing little dances and stuff like that. But all of the things that you guys did in the community growing up definitely helped me. Ain't no stopping us now. I've never been to a radio station before until we was there with you guys. Like, talk a little bit about that.
So for a long time, I was the most quiet child. I didn't really talk much growing up. Like I was very shy, very to myself. And I never forget my mom had started doing broadcasts, at the local radio station. And one thing that I loved about the station was the soundboard, the mixer. So I was into that type of stuff. Like I was into the geeky type of stuff. So I was like, yeah, like I could do this. Nobody has to talk to me. I could just go in there and do it. And it wasn't until the station owner had asked me, where do you see yourself in this? And I was like, I can be the engineer. Like, I don't mind being the engineer, making sure the show is cut properly, timing is on, mix and music is mixed properly. But it was an opportunity that I got a chance to do a spot on the show, which was for another program. And I started to hear myself on air and I was like, okay, I like this. And then my mom would start letting me read little things on the air. And then before I know, I was like, Ma, can I get my own show? Like, can I have maybe 30 minutes? I can bring my friends. And that's what I did. So without, a long time, she had given me an opportunity. I ran with it. I invited all my friends. We're the only youth radio show that was run by young people. Me doing the mixer, I brought on talent, I brought my friends. We talked about all types of topics. And that's when I really started loving communications, but also to finding that I had my own passion and my own voice. And it was really creating a platform for other people to share their voices. And I didn't really understand it until later on that that's what I was doing. I thought it was just my friends getting together and we're having a good time talking about topics on the air, but it became a real passion, which actually landed me in the university because I never thought of this as being a career. If I could have done anything, I probably would have went to school for dance and that would have been it.
Right.
But finding my love for broadcasting, finding my love for being in front of people, talking to people really came from that experience. And it's funny that that's what I did. And just a couple of days ago, I met with the station owner. Now, mind you, I'm a grown woman now. I was only 14 at the time, 13, 14. And I actually had a chance to bring my program to the station, teach my girls what I used to do. So it was full circle, definitely an emotional moment for me. And him seeing the product, him seeing what he had invested in me, him being a part of my village and empowering me as I went to school. He checked in, made sure I was good. Those are things that I don't forget. And those are mentors and people that I want my girls to come across. I don't have any children yet, but I believe that any child that I get a chance to impact, it's worth it. It's worth it. You never know who you are going to inspire. And just seeing my girls in the station, hearing them, because I be peeping their conversations like, man, I really like this. I'm gonna start my own podcast. I want to do this. I want to do that. That's what it's about, those moments. And it all comes back to me when I remember that very first day I sat behind that soundboard and I was the engineer for the day and I was mixing and moving things around. I thought it was unique. So that built my confidence. That brought me out of my shy circle of me wanting to be, just more to myself. I also enjoyed that radio was one place where people didn't see you, they only heard you. So it was
Right.
really cool when you walk in a grocery store and you hear somebody talking about your show and they have no idea it's you. So it was the coolest thing ever because no one knew, unless you knew me, no one knew who was on the air or what I looked like. So I thought it was cool.
No, it was cool. And like growing up and being able to go into the studio and everybody's around the soundboard and like in that one space, I think I've only been in there twice, but I won't forget it. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
that was your first time, your first interaction there. And then it kind of follows with me because once I was brought up in the church, but once I was able to pick which field I wanted to be in as far as like usher or praise and worship, whatever case may be. I'm like, I want to be in the audio booth. Like, and
Mhm.
obviously you have your voice. Like people know that you can sing, they know that you can dance, so they want to push you to do other things. But I definitely would say that just the fact that we had those opportunities to explore different fields within the church helped me myself find my voice. because I was more like you too. I was quiet, still am sometimes.
Hmm.
And like even the fact that I started a podcast, sometimes it takes me back because I'm like, I'm more behind the scenes. I'm more doing the editing, putting the videos together, not telling anyone that I did that video, but
Hmm.
being able to use my voice and hear my voice and then hear other people be inspired by what I'm saying and like them wanting to start their own podcast, like you said, or like that goes far beyond anything than me even starting this podcast. The fact that I'm able to inspire other women to do something that they want to do that maybe themselves is holding them back because of fear, because of what other people will say, or like just low self-esteem, whatever the case may be. But
Hmm.
just putting yourself out there, being vulnerable, being honest, letting your girls know, like you said, like there's days that are tough. Like it's not easy. But
It's
like
not.
at the same time, like we're still pushing through. We're still trying to get it done. We're still trying to inspire because if not us, then who? And if not you, who would have started 100 Girls Leading? So it goes a long way. So I love everything about it. Love everything about it. How often do you get the young ladies together? Because like you said, you did it for one day. You thought it was gonna do it for one day, but how often is it now?
So after that took place, we were blessed with a grant to be able to do more with our work. We were newbies in this, and the grant allowed us to have more freedom and flexibility with what we want to do. So my board said, like, maybe let's try out doing a mentorship program. We didn't know what to do, how to put a mentorship program together, but we had great minds. So we pulled into some of the community leaders, and they started, giving us ideas how to run a mentorship program. And honestly, Jazz, it was not perfect. We did not do everything perfect. We did not, line up to what other people thought we should be, but we were unique, and that's okay. And I think as I look back over it and as I look at the platforms that I get a chance to sit on, I'm grateful that we stayed true to what our organization was, and that being open to learn. And I think that's what was so important, which we did with our girls. So when we first started, we were doing weekly with our girls for 2 hours. And that was great. And it was impactful. We were at Hardin High School for our high school program, then Barnum and Columbus School for our middle school program, which in total gave us about 75 girls. And then this year we focused on larger mentoring, which gave us an opportunity to service more. So we have a total of 50 middle school, 50 high school, and these are girls from throughout the city. And that was our focus. And someone said to me, like, you really are 100 Girls Leading. You have 100 girls in your program. And I think that was a moment for us as we're sitting there saying, like, we really are doing the work. And I think that's important. Just, people always look for the applause and things. People always look for the high moments and things. That is not life. And no, I'm not saying we don't deserve, the pat on the back. We don't deserve the love that we were, that should be given to us. But when you look at why we do what we do, it's like, let's just do the work.
Yeah,
Put your feet to the meadow, put your feet to the ground, just do the work. You will reap the harvest later. The impact is seeing that we can send girls to college with a scholarship. We can send girls to the trade schools with a scholarship, that we can help ease in the burden of some of the parents that we are servicing. That's a rewarding moment for us. The fact that we're able to deal with food insecurity within the city of Bridgeport among our girls, that's a reward for us. For us to be able to create a safe space for our girls to talk about the things that they want to talk about, that's a reward for us. And that's what I look at, those moments, and the impact that we have on our girls. And again, we're not perfect. We are still learning. We literally are still building, and we're new at all that we're doing, but we keep going and we keep learning, and we keep finding teachers to teach us what we don't know and stay teachable. And I think that's the power of what we do as an organization. And I think it changes the mindset of a lot of people that see us on the outside looking in, like, hey, like, they really are doing what they say they're going to do. And it's okay to say no to what doesn't service you. And it's okay to say no what doesn't align to your vision. And that's what I've learned over the years is, if it's not directly affecting our students, I want no parts, and our organization want no parts. We want people that genuinely want to service the kids and that genuinely care about the future of them.
absolutely. Absolutely. And if you're looking at it for any other ways than servicing them and you're looking at it as your success, you're doing it all for the wrong reasons. Um,
Correct.
these kids need to know that people genuinely love and care for them without a handout or reward coming back to them. It just boosts up their confidence. Like
Hmm.
you don't like you said, you never know what they're going through. You never know what they were told, how they were told it. Like, people speak bad on people all the time. So it's like anytime you have the opportunity to impact, to inspire, to lift up someone's spirits, especially the young generation, it's needed. They need to
It
know
is.
that they have a voice and that they can do something in this world. It's scary. Like, once you hit that adulting, you're looking back, you're like, what is this? Where, hi, what?
I
Like,
did not sign up for it
it's
at all.
not at all. But I'm so thankful for the people who spoke life and are continue to speak life to me at this age. And if I need it right now, why not them at the age of them growing up? Like it doesn't have to all be everybody's not gonna be a WNBA player. Everybody's not going to the league, professional, all this type of stuff. We need doctors, we need lawyers, we need other they need to find their passion within it, but they also need to know that there's people out there that are rooting for them to get them to where they need to be.
Absolutely.
So like you guys are once a month, like
So
how
yeah, so this year we focus once a month. I'm not sure what we'll do next year. Where we survey the girls after each of our sessions to see what works for them. I do know our middle school girls, they are the ones that are very big on like, Miss, we want to see you every week, every day. And I'm just like, no, no, no. Our high school girls, a lot of them do have jobs. So that's why the once a month worked out for them so that they can actually work. And we encourage that. If you want to work, like we encourage that. So we'll see. Maybe, next year it's weekly for the middle school and then once a month for high school. We'll really just see it out, but we're just being consistent. And the good thing about it is when we're not doing the mentorship program, we're taking them on trips, we're bringing them places. So there's always that as well, that they still end up seeing us at least twice in the month, which I think is more than just not seeing us at all.
So how can they join? Like how is the process of that?
So what we do is every fall, at the beginning of the school year, we start sending out emails to our parents. We start advertising and letting them know that, hey, we're opening up our roster again for girls to come back. What we do try to do is, so our heart's desire is to follow our girls through high school. I mean, obviously in college too, but like if you start in our middle school program, we want to see you in our high school program. So that's the goal, so that the same girls in our middle school program will transfer over into our high school program. So we have had seen that is happening. But we also want girls who don't have mentorship programs at all to say, hey, I want to be a part of this organization. And Jazz, we get referrals, requests often to the point where it's hard for us to keep up with the amount of services. We partner with Department of Social Services, we partner with local businesses, local communities, local churches that have a need for us, and we try to meet all their needs. And obviously we're a small team, so we're not able to get to everyone, but every time we drop that registration, they fill it up like that. So we always try to tell them like, we'll take as many as we can. And we always want to be mindful too, is that we want to make sure we have the right amount of adults to match the right amount of kids, because you want to make sure you stay within that ratio. So right now is working out with our mentorship program. We have a total of 13 mentors, and they're split between our high school and middle school. So if we get more women to volunteer, we can up our number in services, but we don't want to, we're the type of organization, we're not going to bite off more than we can chew. Because at the end of the day, someone gets hurt, someone gets missed, someone doesn't get understood when you do those moments where we're not reaching everybody all at the same time. So that's what our goal is, to, as we reevaluate ourselves in the upcoming year, what can we do better? What have we done well? And then, what we want to build on in the future.
And it's nice that you guys, first of all, the fact that you understand that like everybody needs one-on-one attention. Like we're not
Mhm.
just trying to get all these people just to get some more money, but more so like focused in on the individual progress of these children. Which makes sense why you do it in the beginning of the fall, carry out throughout the school year. You get to check in on them, how they're doing, their progress, all that type of stuff. That is so vital. Like this makes me so happy to hear. I'm just smiling listening.
Listen, you smiling, but I'm all my wheels is already spinning. We got to get you next year as a speaker,
Absolutely.
like because what we do in our summit, and which makes us so unique is that we're not going out here and we're looking for people that don't serve our community. We're looking for people that are in our community that we can elevate and highlight them. Like they need to see that although Oprah is like one of my, heroes and I love her, I know that I can't call Oprah if I'm having a bad day. I know that I can't reach out to her. I can't text her, but I can reach out to Jazz. I can
Right.
see her. She's in our city. We know where to find her. And that's what we want our girls to see, that we have rock stars that are leaders in our own community. And it's our job to elevate those women of color that are leading in these strong fields and then invite them into our network so that girls can say, I know Miss Jazz. I
Right.
know Miss Bobbi. Oh, she lives in Bridgeport. Oh, she does this. So that they also hold you to a standard, but you also see yourself in a light that someone's looking at you as a leader and that they feel in themselves that you're touchable and not untouchable. Because that
Right.
was a lot of the things that our girls expressed. Miss, we love all these great leaders, but like we can't call them. And I'm like, well, guess what? In Bridgeport, we got these dynamic leaders. And if you email them or if you call them and you need support, they will extend the hand of support to you. So
Absolutely.
look out for next year. You might be one of our guest speakers. I don't want to, check your schedule on June 8th next year, but we'll get
Listen,
you the
I'll put it in
invitation.
my calendar right now. Like I'm so in. Just for the simple fact of like young women, especially, like I like that's my bread and butter. Like I like and I feel like um it's the main reason. Not the it's the main reason why I'm continuing my my career with where I'm at in collegiate athletics because it's like um representation is needed. It
It
is
is.
needed,
It
and
is.
these women they need to know that they have people who look like them, who understands them, who can be that advocate for them because I'm like you know in the position that I'm in right now, you have your head coaches, you have your assistant coaches, like they're doing the thing gotta do, the X's and O's, they're doing all that other stuff. Like I love the fact that I can play that line of being there for the players, being there for the coaching staff, listening to what each side is saying, going, just having that communication like that I didn't have growing up in college,
Mhm.
so that I can be that person for them. So you just say the word, I'm in. And it's been in a sense, I grew up doing Metro Kids, like, and ever
I
since,
know. I know.
like, ever since that, it's not really Metro Kids anymore. I haven't been able to have that, desire in me to do what I've been doing since I was like 13, 14 years old. But
Mhm.
you just say the word, I'm so down, so down.
Well, invitation is there and you've accepted. So you already know after this we'll connect because it's important. You have a network of people that support you. And I think those girls need to see that and see that you're from their community. And, even just looking at the future of what we do is like we literally invite every speaker. They are women that are leading in Bridgeport or in the state of Connecticut that reminds girls that if you see them at the mall, if you see them at the grocery store, that you can actually walk up to them and say hello and they will respond. And I think that's important for them to see that and to know that there's accessibility there.
Absolutely. I totally, totally agree. So we over here talking about the summit. The 2024 summit is coming up June
It is.
1st.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that because I want this episode will, come a little later, but I want people to know how they can register for that and what it's about.
So our summit is, like I mentioned earlier, is our 1 day of interactive mentorship for girls, where our summit brings close to 600 girls for 1 day. We pack out McLeavy Green. We have guest speakers. We have performers. We have interactive tables. We have games. We have food. Like it's literally like a girl block party just for girls, and they come together and enjoy an amazing day of mentorship. And it's interactive. Like we've adopted that term to say that you're not going to come here and it's not going to be like no job fair where you walk around tables and that's it. No, it's a fair, it's an event that requires you to engage. It only becomes as unique as you engage. And we tell our partners, we tell our program leaders that we want you to think outside of the box. What will get them to come to your table? What will get them to want to learn about what you do in your organization and what it does? And then we're just a host because we're gonna do our thing, but we want to make sure that the funnel doesn't stop with just 100 girls leading, that we invite our sister sister organizations that are doing just as much work that we're doing to impact our girls as well. And with that, we bring our girls together, and it's an interactive day. They love on each other. It's girlhood. And we just say register. Go to our website, www.100girlsleadinginc.org, and click on register for Summit. Register your daughters. And I know this will be airing after, but this same link will be available for the following year. So it's the same link. We just change the language, and you'll register. Become a sponsor, become a mentor. If you want to become a mentor, hit our email up, 100girlsleading@gmail.com. Ask us for the application. We'll send it to you, and you can be a mentor for the following school year.
Wow, you heard it all right here. She just gave you guys the formula. So if you're watching this and you want to be a part, make sure you go to that website. Obviously, I'll have the links in the bio and everything so you can go from there. And she did not mention this, but if you guys are wondering, it is free. And I'm right,
It
correct?
is, yes. It doesn't cost a parent a dime to send their daughter. We just ask that you bring them. We will give them t-shirts. They get goodie bags. Everything is donated from community sponsors like Conair, Southwest Community Health Center. There's just tons of sponsors that believe in the work that we do. It is free, from the food to the activities to the giveaways. We don't ask you for nothing because we believe our girls deserve this, and we are going to make sure that it doesn't cost a parent anything to participate.
Love to hear it. I love to hear it. I'm so proud of you, Bobbi. So proud.
Thank you.
So this is my last question I have for you. For the women who are nervous to help out in their communities for whatever reason, what advice do you have for them?
I would say find something or an organization that fits your desire, because there's nothing worse than someone signing up for something and they know they're not completely interested, and then they just make a mess of it. Because for me, it's like, if you're going to work with kids, understand that you must have a heart for children. You need to have a heart for children, or they're going to read you like a book and they're going to tell you that you don't care about them, and they're very honest. So make sure the organization or the mission that you're after fits what you want to do, so that you can give your all to it, and you can feel replenished by giving your all and receiving whatever it is that the organization is going to receive back, will give back to you. So if that's your time, if that's your talent, get out there. You don't know what's out there until you actually look. There are tons of organizations throughout Connecticut that are looking for a helping hand, that are looking for someone to volunteer their time. You got the animal shelters. They're always looking for somebody. You got the mentorship programs. They're always looking for somebody. There's offices that need to be filled with people that want to lead. Get in one and participate. Survey yourself. Sit and do your own little vision board of where you want to be. And if it's truly what you want to do, you'll find it, or it will find you. And I think that's the most important thing, that be open and available for something unique to come your way, and also be open to explore, but also be mindful of what you choose to explore, so that you don't get yourself into something that you don't like, and then it's too late to pull out, or you're letting someone down, or you feel like you're letting someone down. Specifically with children, make sure it's something that you really want to do, because kids will never forget you, and they will never let you forget them. So, definitely make sure it's something that you really want to do. Just get out there. I'm a serial volunteer, and there's not, like, literally, there's probably not anything I haven't volunteered to do. Like, if it's impactful and impacting our community, I have done it, from the animal shelter to, blood drives, to walk for homelessness. And this is not to brag or boast, but that's just my heart. Like, if my friend, for example, actually my friend invited me to go to a walk with him that was around lupus. I don't know truly nothing about it, but it was his passion. And because it was his passion and the work that he does, I supported the work that he does. And then I learned about the disease, and I learned that there's more people that need to be educated on it. And that's where my advocacy coming in. So I'm able to tell someone what I learned, so that they can make sure that they get checked, or make sure their family members get checked. So it starts off with volunteering, and then it opens into a passion, and you go from there.
Absolutely. You couldn't have said it better yourself. And it's not that you're boasting or you're talking about everything that you're doing. People need to know that there's so much out there that you can volunteer for. So much out there. And we even the simple fact of adopt a block. Like, you're just going out picking up trash, and this is something, like, you don't like to see, people littering. Like, that's that's volunteering right there, to just do the small things. Like, you have to find your purpose, you have to find your passion, and I think people need to understand that there is a lot of people out there who have the same passion that you have, that they have the same desire that you have, whether it's impacting kids, whether it's helping, like you said, helping animals. Like, there's so much out there that you can get involved with, and the worst thing you can do is sit in your room and say that you can't help out with anything, because that's not true.
Absolutely. And to go on top of that too is like everybody everyone's doing, there's probably multiple mentorship programs. There's probably multiple animal shelters, but no one's going to do it like you do it. So remember that too. Come in with the mindset to give your own little sprinkle of pizzazz on it, make it your own thing. And then if you see something that you don't like, it's okay to branch out and create something that you truly love that is in that same arena. And then it's also okay to partner with people, learn from someone. You don't know it all, I don't know it all, and learn and become aware of what it is that's out there. But definitely don't sit on your couch. Don't be a couch potato. There's so many things that are happening. The world is filled with so much hate and hurt, but there are good people that are trying to make sure that the days look a little bit brighter. The sun comes out a little bit more brighter. So those are the moments where this organization and other organizations feel the real love, because we get to see the impact on our students' lives, and that's important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I sorry, I said I had one more question, but the conversation's going to have another one. For the volunteering services that you have, been involved in, like, are those, did they come more from word of mouth, or like, is there a website that people can go to see opportunities out there?
So I would say word of mouth. I've always been super connected in the community. So people will send me stuff. They'll be like, oh, YMCA will tell me they have a walk for homelessness. So it honestly, for me, it's word of mouth because people know that I'm pretty much involved. But you can go to literally any social organization and you can look online, social organizations, ways to give back online, type it in Google, and a whole bunch of them will pop up. Also, you could do is look up on the federal website of the state of Connecticut for nonprofits, and you can find a nonprofit that's local and near you, and they list them all, and you could choose which one you want to work with, or if they have an opportunity to work with you, because some of them, there's a whole process, like depending on working with kids or working in different areas, that there's a process that you must go through in order to even volunteer. But it's there if you wanted to. Like, there's also organizations that are not located on the website, but they are, for example, there's the helping hands that happens underneath the bridge in downtown Bridgeport, where they provide food and care packages for the displaced. So those are moments where if you just happen to be driving on a Sunday under the bridge, the John Street Bridge, you're gonna see them. You can hop out of your car, put on an apron, put on some gloves, and serve some people before going to church. So, actually, that's sometimes where I would love to be more than anything, just out in the community. I do enjoy the four walls of the church, but there's nothing like being in the streets and being the walking, talking church. So
absolutely, couldn't have said it better myself. Oh my God. Honestly, if you didn't receive anything from that, you're not listening. But if you need to, reach out to Bobbi. She will direct you into where you want to be in the community, volunteer services. And I'm sorry to even put you out there, but like you said, you're in the community, you like to volunteer. So if anybody is, really needed help in assisting anything, please reach out.
Definitely. And hit me up. My email is 100girlsleading@gmail.com. You can send me a line, send me an inquiry request. You can visit our website. And when we start accepting volunteers, you can choose a volunteer there. I wear multiple hats, so I can always direct you in some way or another to where you need to be. And I don't mind at all, because I also learned you may know something that I don't know, and, see how we can be involved from there.
Absolutely. Oh, Bobbi, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Oh, my sisters, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And as always, I'm here for you guys. I'll catch you guys on the next episode.